They can't hear.
Yeah, they're so illustrated. Brian does.
Brian does.
Brian
He's still young.
He's still in teenage.
That would make him old.
Howdy. Oh, wow, that's a lot louder. Oh, I can't talk. A lot louder than I thought it was going to be. Well, it's good to be here. It's been about 4 years since I've seen y'all. We've been in the Philippines the entire time. Because of COVID, we got stuck over there. So during all the lockdowns and travel restrictions and stuff, so it's been a while. But it's good to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Merle. I was born and raised in Cebu City, Philippines, and my parents are Barry and Sherry Merle. Like I said, Ronnie, like he said, Ronnie is my cousin. His mom and my dad are siblings, and yeah, man, I was always nervous getting up here, getting up anywhere, but that's good. Okay, so today I was asked to give you all a little presentation of the work that we do in the Philippines. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you just a little bit about the Philippines, a little bit of history of the work that we're doing there, and kind of our plans for the future. And so this will be a little bit of an education for those who don't know the Philippines very well. Philippines is located in Southeast Asia. You can see Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam. In that area, if you go north, that's Japan. And so, but we're over here in this little part of the world. If you look at the Philippines, it's divided into 3 different parts. The northern part, which is the largest island, is the island of Luzon. It has the capital, Manila. And the central part, is it working? Oh, I forgot, pointing that way. Visayas area is the collection of little islands there in the middle. And then Mindanao is the second largest island, which is the third largest city, which is Davao. Cebu City is right there in the middle. That's where we work. It is the second largest city in the Philippines. And if you look at the entire Philippine Islands, there are over 7,600 islands. Only 2,000 of those are inhabited. So there's a lot of islands, and some of them disappear during the high tides and low tides and things like this. But majority of the people live on the bigger islands. and some of the bigger ones in the central area. Whoop, went too far. Go back. Well, the last slide was. There are over 114 million people living in the Philippines. If you compare that to the United States, I think, has 335 million people. That is a third of the population of the United States. If you compare the size of the Philippines, oh, it did go back, okay. If you compare the size of the Philippines, if you take all of the islands and push them all together, you can fit them in the state of Texas 3 times. So that is 1/3 of the population of the United States living in 1/3 of Texas. So if you take the entire population of the United States and move them all to Texas, that's how densely populated we are. A lot of people. I'm skipping ahead. There we go. All right, so we have 130 to 190 different dialects. All of those stem from about 12 different dialects, but there's a bunch. And the reason for that is it is an island nation, and so a lot of these languages developed independently from one another. And so because of technology now, most of the language, most of the nation, probably 90% of the population speaks English, but there are different dialects throughout the country. All right? If you look at the religion side of things, it's predominantly Catholic. About 80% of the population are Catholic, and that's one of the things that we have to combat against when it comes to the work that we do, because the Catholic mindset was brought over by the Spanish during I think it was the 1600s. The Spanish came over and conquered the Philippines and were in control for about 600 years. And so a lot of the culture that we see in the Philippines is very similar to what you would see in Mexico or even Spain. Okay? But we do have a lot of beautiful places. This is Chocolate Hills in Bohol. If you look, they look like Hershey's Kisses kind of all over the area. We have places like the Banawe Rice Terraces. And we also have lots and lots of beaches. Right? A lot of tourists will come and go diving or go just explore the different things that they have throughout the Philippines. So yeah. The island that we live on is Cebu Island. It's that long, skinny one right there in the middle. It is roughly about 122 miles long and about 20 miles at its widest point. I keep pointing back there. It's up there. 20 miles at its widest point. It's not very big. It's like, I don't know, it's a couple of counties. I can't remember what the counties were. Let's see. 5 million people live on this island. Yeah, 5 million people live on this island. The city that we live in has just under 1 million. So 1/5 of the population of that island live in that city. All right? That city is right there on the edge there. But it does have a very interesting history. For those of you who know about the story of Magellan and his circumnavigating the world, you might not know. I don't know. When I was a kid, they didn't tell this to us in school. But when I was a kid, the story was Magellan was the one that made it around the world. In fact, he didn't make it around the world. He died before he made it. And he died in Cebu City. They started the expedition with, I think it was 5 ships and about 250 crew, and only 1 ship made it, and 18 people. And that was it. So because of storms and things like this, several of the ships were lost. Many people were killed because of it. In the Philippines, in Cebu City, Magellan got involved with a couple of chiefs and chose the wrong side and ended up dying and was killed over there. But the remaining guys fled and went back to Spain. But yeah, so his journey took about 3 years. Just a little tidbit of information. Where we work, this is Cebu City. You'll notice that it's kind of stretched out like this. That's because we have mountains this way and ocean this way, so it's just kind of along the coast. It's about 120 square miles, the city itself. Okay, well, there's a pin there, and that pin is where our office is located. We work with the Bible Study Center, and what that is a place that we send out flyers, news articles in the newspaper, radio announcements to invite people to come to our facility and study the Bible with us. And we've been doing that since the 80s. My dad was the one who started it. He and his fellow apprentices started that in 1985, I think it was. My mom and the rest of the wives kind of wanted the husbands to get out of the house because they were working too much. Working from sun up to sundown and not really spending time with the kids and stuff. So they started the Bible Study Center, and that's kind of where we're located. It's kind of central, but more towards the south. But as I said, it has a lot of places to visit. This is the very first fort that was ever created or ever set up in the Philippines by the Spaniards. So this is Fort San Pedro. It is actually triangular shaped, and it used to be out in the ocean. So one side would be on land, and the rest of it would be in the ocean. It was a really interesting design. We have a lot of Catholic stuff out there. This is one of the first churches that was built out there, made of stone. And it's got lots of people, as you can see, every day, year-round. This is a monument to Magellan. This is Magellan's cross. The story is he brought a cross and stuck it in the ground, and this is inside that little box. That cross is in there, supposedly. But you have a mural up there that depicts the story of Magellan coming in and bringing Christianity to the Filipino people. This is a picture of the market, the downtown market. There's a lot of people all the time, morning, afternoon, evening, and there's just a ton of people. Like I said, there's 1 million people living in this city, and so it's very, very congested when it comes to traffic. It'll take what would take you normally about 10 to 15 minutes to drive would take us over an hour, because it's just there's so many cars, so many people, and it's just massive humanity moving around all the time. But that means that our work is what we have done over there is just a drop in the bucket, because we have maybe 600 members throughout the entire congregations or the group of congregations that are in the city, and so that's just a small portion of the entire number of people that are in that city. So we've been working hard. We've been slowly growing, and that's kind of where we're at. But it all started with my parents. This is Barry and Sherry Merle. Dad was born in Bandera, so he's a country boy. And my mama, she was actually born in Lancaster, California, but grew up in the College Station area. Actually, that's not true. She grew up in the Philippines. My grandfather, Ken Wilkie, he worked in the Philippines starting in 1960, and has been there off and on ever since. He was the first to go over there of our family, and then Mom married Dad at the age of 19. They went over there and have been over there ever since. But this is my sisters. There's me, my sister Rachel, Sarah, and Amy, and all of us are over there working with our spouses. My wife, Gina. This is my family. There's Gina, Sean, Jasmine, and Liam. They're probably the best thing that's happened to me in my life, and so I'm really happy to have them. Gina especially, she puts up with me, and I'm very thankful for that. But then you have the rest of our team. This is Clint and Rachel. Clint is actually from Houston, and he came over with my grandfather once, met my sister, and ended up starting a long-distance relationship that eventually ended up getting them married, and now they have 4 kids, Andrew and Lily and Abigail and Hannah. Then you have my sister Sarah. She married a local. That's Kevin. And they have 2 kids. That's Nathan and Laureen. And then the last one, the youngest, is Amy. She's the youngest, but she's the tallest girl. She's like 6 foot, but her husband's real short. So, but this is their family. You got the oldest Philip, and then William, and Ellie, and they've also got one on the way. And so this is the next generation of our family working in the Philippines. We get them to help us with the flyers and stuff. We'll get them out there, and they'll hand out flyers. People will take it from them, and, oh, you're so cute, stuff like that. But it's been fun with them. Now, as far as the work is concerned, what we do over there, our main work is the Bible Study Center. And like I said, what that is a facility where we get people to come and study with us. All right? We hand out flyers, we put ads in the newspaper, things like this, and invite them to come and study with us. Because of COVID, we've had to do things online. So we now have an online side and a part where people will actually come and study with us. We have classroom, one-on-one or group classes that we offer that usually run for about an hour apiece. So every class is an hour, and we do it from a variety of subjects, how we got the Bible, how to study the Bible, archaeology and how it helps to confirm the Bible, Christian evidences, and several classes like that. We also have gospel classes that we focus on, talking to the people about Jesus and who He is, Him coming down to this earth, living on this earth, becoming, dying on the cross for us, and all of that. So this is kind of an example of the different booklets that we have, all dealing with the different classes. So one of our sessions of classes will usually run for about 6 weeks. We'll offer a variety of classes. Some of them will be once a week. Some of them will be twice a week. We have, if you'll notice, there's a couple of repeats. What that is several classes during the week. People will take the first week will be lesson 1, then next week lesson 2, lesson 3. 6 weeks long, an hour apiece. It's an easy way for people after work to come in and study with us for an hour or two. And by the end of that, they'll either continue on. There's no obligation for them, and it's all free of charge. We also have our website, BibleStudyCenter.net. If you guys want to take a look at what we do over there, the classes that we offer, and things like this, everything is up there on the internet. You can study online. People will go to that link there, and the courses are all available, all the lessons and things like this. We've had to convert a lot of our stuff to online format because of COVID, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. But we've got we even have like the seminars that we've done in the past. They're up there, all videos. You can watch those videos if you're interested, and take a look at what we have to offer. We also have Facebook. Just search for the Bible Study Center and get our updates and things. All the programs that we're going on or things that we're doing are up there, and we update that quite often. We also have a newsletter, a team newsletter that we send out. I believe you guys get that. Am I right? Yeah, we do send it out. And so what this does is we try to do it every quarter, but because of COVID, it's kind of become like, I think, twice a year because of that. But we're going back to the usual quarter. And so what this is just a report of what we are doing over there, kind of more detailed and stuff. We do hold seminars often, and we usually try to do that at the end of a session of classes to introduce the next session. And so what that is will it be anywhere from a 1 to 3 day seminar where we talk about different topics, usually trying to entice those who are Catholic to come and study with us, because maybe it's something that they've been told in their religion is not quite right, and so we're going to see what does the Bible actually say about it. Well, we teach them things like how to study the Bible and stuff like that. We also have youth activities. Our youth group is growing. I remember when I was a lot younger, we had a youth group. When I got married, we were in charge of the youth group for a long time, and now the next generation of kids are the ones who are taking care of stuff like that. I remember the guys who were in the youth group when I was in charge of it are now older. They're starting their families, and they're the ones who are now preaching on Sundays and teaching Bible class and things like this. And so it's been great. It's been great. We've had a lot of this is the new generation. You can see some of our kids. There's Jasmine right there in the middle, and so they do activities and stuff together to kind of build relationships with one another. One of the things that we're involved in, especially my wife is involved in, is about 7 years ago, my brother-in-law, Gabby, you saw his picture up there, Amy's husband, the short one. I pick on him all the time, so it's fine. But he's short. But I pick on him. He about 7 years ago started biking up to the mountain. He does mountain bike, I don't know if you guys any of you do that. I don't mountain bike, but he does mountain biking. He goes up to the mountains, and he does that quite often. About 7 years ago, he started working with a bunch of people up there who he kind of built a relationship with, and over those years, that evolved into a work that we're doing up there. Every Saturday, my wife goes up there to help teach the kids class. And so that's something that has been going on for a long period of time. But they do things like feeding, because a lot of the people up there are really poor. They don't have a lot of opportunities to get jobs. The jobs that they have is either they'll drive a motorcycle and they'll carry passengers and they'll pay. It's kind of like a public transportation type thing. Or they'll wait for a construction opportunity and get hired as a crew on the construction site and work. And once that is over, they don't have any work until the next one, whenever that is. So there's no consistent work for them. So finding funds for living is hard. So a lot of those people are really poor up there. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to help out with. So we do like feeding for the kids, because some of them are malnourished. Some of them it's just a very difficult life for them up there. So this lady right here, I don't know if you can see her. It's not a very good picture. That's my mother-in-law. She's helping out with stuff as well. But we do have kids class. This is a picture of the Saturday kids class. There's Gabby right there. And we do all sorts of different activities for them. They have coloring stuff. They learn about different things like David and Goliath, and the stories that we read, we study in kids class and stuff, just to get them introduced to the Bible. This led to the parents becoming interested, and so what ended up happening was they started having Bible classes, and they don't have very big houses out there. They're small houses, so a lot of the times the classes will be out under a tree or something like that, right? But they did start renting a facility out there. It's not a very big one, but they're doing classes out there now too. And also, I think about 2 years ago, the first member of the church, first person that became a member of the church, that happened, and it's been kind of growing ever since. They started having Sunday service up there on the mountains, and. But yeah, this is what we have right here. Like I said, we're also planning on in the near future, because these people are so poor, they don't have a very good education. Their education is very, very limited. And so what we're hoping to do is to teach the basics like reading, writing, because even the adults, they don't have very good reading and writing skills. Very, very limited. Basic math. And so it's not a full-fledged school kind of thing, but just, couple days out of the week, we go up there and teach the group of kids out there, kids and adults, how to read, how to write, and basic math. And that's something that we're going to be getting into pretty soon. So we're looking for funds for that to help encourage the kids to continue that. But like I said, Sunday service, it started out very small, because one person became a Christian, and then he brought his family. And last year, his wife became a Christian. And when we left, I think the first week we were here, we found out that his daughter-in-law became a Christian. And so they're the first members of the church up there. But it's really hard to get there. And well, this is also a reason why the pictures are kind of deceiving. What that is a very steep angle. And it's like that because you're going down the mountain. And it's a lot of turns and twists and things. And you can't get up there with a vehicle unless it's like a 4x4? It's really hard to get up there. I have a car, it's front wheel drive, it just spins out. And I can't get up there with a car. So the only way to get up there is with motorcycles. And so, like I said, the guys will get their motorcycles and ferry people up and down for a little bit of money. And so that's the situation we have there. And so, yeah, that's basically what we're doing up there as far as the work in the mountains. We're looking forward to the school side of those things. But it's been 4 years. Several things have happened over those 4 years. COVID hit in 2019 and pretty much messed us up. The government forced shutdown on all non-essential companies. If we weren't medical or food, like shopping, grocery stores or anything like that, we were not allowed to be open. Everybody was forced to stay home, and that went on for a long time. We were told 2 months. 2 months became 3 months, became 4 months, became a year, became 2 years, and it was just very, very difficult for a lot of people. And so we had to, in order to get out of your house, you had to have these passes, and you had to take them around with you, and you had to have these little things. It was ridiculous. This is them going to the hospital because Nate got sick or something, and they had to take him to the hospital. But it took forever for them to even check the child. If there was an emergency, they have to check for COVID. And there's a lot of stories where people had died waiting to get treated when all they could have done was just gone and treat them. It got really, really bad. But we were also, all religious groups were not allowed to meet because large groups means spread of COVID or whatever. I'm not sure where they got that idea. But we were forced to meet online, and we did it like this, using Skype or Zoom or any program that was like that. And we did that for a while. And that was how we did things. And then in 2021, a big typhoon came in and rocked the city. A lot of damage throughout the city. You might have heard about it. It really devastated a lot of the folks up in the mountains. And so we started working on trying to help them. We got these giant rolls of tarp, and we cut them up and handed those out to different people so they have something over their heads. Because a lot of the buildings that were there were made of light material. They were destroyed. And it wasn't a very good situation for them. But we have this is bags of rice, and the different members of the church got together and got packages of food, rice, canned goods, things like this for the people to be able to survive through this. Not only is it hard for them because of the typhoon, but the COVID restrictions are still in place, and so it was very, very difficult for everybody. It was the power was out for, I think it was 26 days where we were at, but I'll tell that story in my lesson because that goes really well with that lesson. But yeah, I mean, it was a difficult time for those folks up in the mountain. We were able to get that vehicle up there because it was weighed down with a lot of rice, and so the spinning out was not as bad. But yeah, this was the situation up there for a little while. This was the facility that you saw earlier. It got destroyed completely because of the winds and the rain and stuff. But we pulled our resources, spent some money to try and get it fixed, and this is now what it looks like. So it's back to what it was. But we're looking to potentially upgrade the facility and get better chairs and tables and things, because the stuff that we have is falling apart. So I keep there. Another thing that happened in 2022, the building that this is an old picture, but this is here to show you this building to the left. This is the building that we're renting. Our part is the left half of that building. You see the yellow sign, that's the Bible Study Center. The building beside us went up in smoke. It burned down, burned to the ground, and we were right there. It was a Sunday morning. We were just getting ready to start services, and we were hearing commotion outside. People were saying, "Oh, there's fire! There's a fire!" We go outside, and it's the building next door is up in smoke. Fire. It's just bad. This is the end result of that. But they had blocked off the street, and you could I'll just show you the pictures. But yeah. Oh, you can see the flames. I forgot about that. I didn't notice that. Go back. There we go. You see the flames? Right there by that water tank? Yeah, it got really bad. And the building that we were in actually started catching fire too. And we had the potential of losing everything that day. But because the fire department got there real quickly, was able to deal with the fire fairly quickly, very, very minimal damage was done to the building that we were in. So somebody was looking out for us that day. But yeah, that's the back of the building that we work in. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience for us. Very interesting indeed. There's a lot of, because the city has all those people in it, over 1 million people, there are quite a few slums. There's either very rich or very poor, and the middle class is very, very small. So there's a lot of people that live stacked on top of each other, and when a fire goes in one of those places, it spreads and affects lots and lots of people all at the same time. So fires are something that is very difficult to deal with. This is the Taboy family up in the mountains. This gentleman right here, we call him Tatay Maning. Tatay is father, but it's used in a term of endearment or term of respect. So we call him Tatay Maning because he's older. He was the first Christian up in the mountains. And because of him, he would go out and try to encourage his neighbors to come in and study, come in and be part of the different things that we had going on up there. And so he was a very, very big part of the efforts. He became a Christian about 2 years ago. And through his efforts, several people, we have now larger groups that come and study with us on a regular basis. His wife, Nanay Ophelia, Nanay is the female side of that, mother. Nanay Ophelia became a Christian, I think it's January. Yeah, in January. And she's since been helping out with a lot of the stuff that's going on there as well. And like I said, a week after we got here, we got here, I think it was mid-June. My wife keeps me honest, keeps me straight. Mid-June, the first week we got here, their daughter-in-law became a Christian as well. And so now we have 3 up there, and we have several classes going on as well. A lot more potential. Sadly, about, when was it? May? Last week of May, Tatay Maning passed away. And it was very difficult. He was a new Christian, but he was a very dedicated Christian. He was he was the one that got involved in a lot of the stuff that we had going on. And because of him, because of his efforts, and not just that, but because of him passing away, this influenced a lot of people in the area because he had a reputation with them. And now we have a lot more people studying because of that. And because of, it was a sad situation because they lived so far up in the mountains. He had a heart attack and they couldn't get him down the mountain fast enough. By the time they got to the hospital, he was gone. And that's the reality of their situation up there. They don't have vehicles. The ambulance has a hard time getting up there, and so what do? Well, they have to put him on the back of a motorcycle, bring him down, and it's a hard life up there. But because of his efforts, we have several potential people that are studying with us now, and his daughter-in-law became a Christian because of just the type of people we were trying to help them out in dealing with this tragedy, this sad situation. And so that's a good thing. But that's kind of what we've got going on over there. We plan to continue our efforts over there. The Bible Study Center is still going strong. We've done a lot more now online due to the COVID situation. Because of COVID, we were forced to change our tactics. And instead of doing in-person classes, we've converted a lot of the material that we have to online classes. And so we're going to be doing that as well. But we're also planning to continue with the efforts up in the mountains, especially with the education part of the learning how to read, learning how to write, and basic math. And so that's where we are going forward. Anybody have any questions about any of this? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There are actually quite a few. In fact, the facility that we work with, the Bible Study Center, right across the street is a Muslim mosque. But those people are really nice people. They're very friendly. When we came into the neighborhood, when we first opened our doors in that spot, in that building, the leader of that mosque came over to talk to us and thanked us for what we were trying to do for the community, which was kind of cool. Because our facility is a non-denominational facility. We encourage anybody to come and study, because we're not trying to convert people. We're trying to show people the good news, and that will convert them. That's what we believe. And so anybody from any faith can come and study. We've had Muslims come and study. We've had Catholics come and study. We've had Baptists. Doesn't matter what religious background you have. They come and study with us, and we show them the gospel. We focus on the context and making sure that the things that we see in the scriptures are in context. Because there's a lot of things in religion today that are out of context. You take one verse and make it say what they want it to say. But remember, these were letters. When you read a letter, you don't just take one verse out and make it say what you want it to say. You read the whole context, and that's important. Any other questions?
Doesn't it rain constantly there?
We live in the tropics, so yes. You know how the weather in Texas changes often? It's like that. We have 2 seasons though. We don't have winter or spring or anything like that. It's either hot or wet. That's it. It's hot or wet, or it's hot and wet, or both. Yes. So part of the year it's really hot. There's no rain. Part of the year it's wet. So usually summertime will be hot, and wintertime will be rainy season. But there are typhoons and storms and stuff. Odette was a big typhoon, but we have typhoons constantly. I think during the year, I think last year we had about 30-something typhoons come through. But most of the time what will happen is if it comes into the Philippines, by the time it gets real close, it kind of veers towards the north. Only the big ones cut across and hit us real hard. So Japan gets everything. It just kind of goes up and hits Japan, usually is what happens. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any Muslims convert to Christianity?
Sadly, no, but we are close with some. Yeah, they're very devoted to their faith and very hard to convince. Because it's like this. It's very difficult to convince someone if they don't think that the Bible is correct, is the authority. They go with the Quran, right? And so in order for you to convert someone like that, you first have to convince them that what they believe is wrong, and then you have to show them what the truth is. So it's very, very difficult. But we have had studies with people who are Muslim. Any other questions? This is good. I like these questions.
How many church groups are there?
In the city itself, it's really hard to get a fixed number because there are quite a few church groups that just meet in the homes. But from what I know, there are roughly around 20 that I know of in and around the city. It's very hard for us to meet together in one place because, like I said, for something that would take us 10, 15 minutes to drive to here, it takes an hour or so, and it's because of the traffic, because of the way the roads are. And so we have different congregations throughout the city, and that's how we do that. So there's the congregation that we work with. I think we have around 40 or 50 people. It depends on if they, 40 or 50 people. Not everybody comes at the same time. Sometimes there'll be a week where this person will come, and next week they won't come for different reasons. Maybe they're traveling or stuff. So it's like, but we have roughly about 60 people that come. There's other congregations that are a little bigger. And so, yeah. Any other questions?
What about inter-island?
I'm sorry?
What about inter-island?
Yes. Inter-island stuff, boats is basically how we get from island to island, but we do have works that we help with. There's the island of Leyte. The Cebu Island was there. Leyte is up over here on this side. Right, we work with Brother Yoladin, who is working in Ormoc area, and so we have several things. We work with a group in Negros. We work with a group which is the other direction. So Cebu, Negros, and so we have several works that we are involved in when inter island things.
Up in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real strong group of Filipinos in that area, and I think they were out in Manila, and so I know that there is a lot of Christians
Yes.
in the area there.
Felix Bravo. I can't remember the name of the guy. There's several of the members of the church that are working up there in Manila area, and so yeah. Philip Dumawa. That's the guy that we're in contact with a lot as well. He works up in the Manila area as well.
You're on Cebu?
Yes, sir. Cebu Island. Yes. I like it. It's home. Anything else? Any other questions? All right. Well, I thank you all for listening to me and listening to the efforts that we have going on in the Philippines right now. If you want any more information about that, check us out at our website, BibleStudyCenter.net, because we have all of our materials up there. All the things that we teach us are there. Different schedules that we have going on. You can find out pretty much everything you want to on there. If you want to be part of the newsletters that we have, let us know. Let them know, and they can contact us, and we'll get you guys on the newsletters as well. Okay? I think that's it for me. Thank you all for your time.